Third story of the day. Now, this one's really unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. This one is not going to represent well against narratives that I think the blue team, the blue team has been fighting against, vehemently fighting against with a lot of energy when it comes to Kamala Harris and the blue team's reputation for actually doing things, tangible things, in support of the black community. They've been fighting this narrative, and I'm very consistent on this. There's too many. The red team's got all the Confederates, so that's where I'm at. I'm not rocking with the Confederates. I definitely think that whatever the blue team's doing is not enough, but in comparison to what the red team's offering, it's way more, right? But this is supposed to be a nation of progress, right? What's the saying? The hand of justice, the arc of justice is, what is it? The arc of history is slow but bends toward justice, or something like that, right? And this is one of those moments. What happened here is prime example for detractors, people critical of the blue team, when it comes to their efforts and willingness to actually put together tangibles for the black community. Now, California made history a few years ago. They became the first state in the nation to really put together a committee, a study, and make legislative proposals for reparations for foundational black Americans. In a very sad instance of irony, and maybe it's not ironic, and maybe that's the problem, 2 historic California reparations bills stall out, sparing Newsom a tough political call. Now, what happened is the Black Caucus in California, the blue team Black Caucus, stopped the bill before it could make it to Gavin Newsom's desk. Here's how Cal Matters reported on it. Years of effort went into making California the first state in the nation to get reparations laws to the governor's desk to be signed into law. Yet tonight, in the final hours of this year's legislative sessions, 2 key bills to repair harm for African-American descendants of enslaved people met their bitter demise. They pushed this all the way up to the last day. The last day and said, nah, we're not ready for you niggas to get nothing. Although other bills in a 14-bill reparations package introduced by the legislature's Black Caucus passed this session, Democratic Senator Stephen Bradford of Inglewood couldn't convince the caucus or assembly leaders to bring to the floor the 2 ambitious bills he carried independently. Bradford's Senate Bills 1403 and 1331 would have created a new agency and also a fund to help implement policies recommended last year by a first-in-the-nation state task force, including eventual direct cash payments to African-American descendants of people enslaved in the United States. The envisioned California American Freedom Affairs Agency would have helped Black Californians research their genealogy, confirm their eligibility for reparations payments, and expedite their claims. The Senate already approved both bills. So California Senate is like, yeah, let's go. But last week, Governor Newsom's administration tried unsuccessfully to change one of them so that rather than create a new state agency to move on reparations, it instead would authorize California State University to study this issue further and recommend a process for determining a person's eligibility for reparations payments. The Senate passed it, and then Gavin's like, oh, I might really have to make a decision on this? Yo, let's see if we could change this up real quick and let's just study it more. Let's kick this can down the road. Let's kick this 400-year-old can down the road a little bit longer, right? That didn't sit well with Bradford and advocates of his approach who contend the state has already spent 4 long years studying reparations. Newsom's office declined to comment, saying he typically does not speak about pending legislation. The California governor met the task force report with what many felt was a lukewarm reception. Listen to what Gavin said. Reparations, he said, were about much more than cash payments. Well, what's more than cash? Why is cash such? No, I understand it. Don't get me wrong, but it seems like everyone is always like, yeah. Oh, education. Well, we had affirmative action. You took that away. Yeah. Well, maybe we could say give an apology or something. Apologies don't mean anything. What about cash? I feel like it's more than cash. This is gaslighting in its finest right here. This is it's much more than cash payment. This is the epitome of what critics of the blue team, particularly black critics of the blue team, are talking about. This is a real-time example of an issue that has made it all the way to a task force, that's made it all the way through the legislative process. It got passed in the Senate. All it has to do is get passed by the House, and the governor signs it, but at the 23rd hour, you know what? We got to take a look at this. Maybe a little bit more study, because this really is much more than cash payments. No, it's not. It's very simple. It's reparations. It's a debt that's owed. It's not a payout. It's a debt that's owed. It's not deep. It's not, this isn't some esoteric thing. Every other community, every tentacle in our entire economic system was built off of free labor. All these corporations, these hundreds of year old entities, profited off of free labor. What is much more than cash? What does that even mean? This is the epitome of what people are talking about. Right now, I'm gonna show you guys some clips real quick, because it looked really bad. It looked really bad on the floor. So here is a clip of here's a clip of a member of the task force, and they're talking about how this is going to reflect poorly on Kamala Harris. Now she's from California. And, Gavin literally kicked the can down the road on this one. So check this out.
The speaker needs to bring the bills up now. These are their bills. They have their names on the bills. They killing their own bills because they scared of the government. Now, listen, they gonna see this and they gonna get mad at us. They killing their own bills, then they gonna get mad at us. They killing their own bills because they scared of the government. Okay? We don't care.
We need to
bring the goddamn bills up now.
The governor needs to understand that the world is watching California, and this is going to have a direct impact on your friend Kamala Harris, who's running for president. This is going to have a direct impact. So pull up the bills now, vote on them, and sign them.
We've
been waiting for over 400 years.
So again, right? These bills have been part of a task force. These are blue team bills. Somebody made a phone call before this happened, before this got passed through the House. And they're the ones, and the blue team is the ones that retracted it. Now, from the other side of it, right? Assembly member Wilson, a Democrat from Suisun City, told reporters in the Capitol that the bills would be reintroduced next year. The Black Caucus is absolutely committed to its reparations priority package, and it is absolutely committed to the recommendations that have come out of the task force and to getting those across the finish line. We knew from the very beginning it was going to be an uphill battle. We knew from the beginning it would be challenging. And we also knew from the beginning that it would be a multi-year effort. It's been 400 years. How many years? How many years is this, right? About 25 to 30 advocates, mostly from the Coalition of Just and Equitable California, protested at the Capitol this afternoon. This ain't white folks blocking the bills. This ain't Latinos blocking reparations bills. This ain't the AAPI family blocking reparations bills. This is black people blocking their own damn bill damn reparations bill because they're scared of the governor. Here's a couple more clips of what went down this week. So they're speaking with Assembly Member Lori Wilson. Okay, and Lori Wilson is she's trying to explain the unexplainable.
Yeah, no reparation, no vote. If you don't give no reparation, you ain't getting no vote. Y'all gave the legal. Y'all gave a free healthcare with no
She was giving my man that "it's above me now" face. Now this is another clip I'm going to show you right here. This is really quick. Now, because this looks so badly on the blue team, this clip really does look bad on the blue team, right? Because the blue team is the one that decided. The Black Caucus decided not to move forward with this. Okay. So during the assembly, a red team member stands up and is trying to get a vote on the bill. Now, that is clearly insurgent stuff, right? Because, you know, there are dynamics behind the scenes. Clearly the blue team decided to pull the bill back. But if they vote on it, there's other repercussions to it. But check this out.
Mr. Saley, we are not at that item at the moment. We are still working on the concurrence list.
Pick it up.
We're currently not on that item. We're currently working on the concurrence list.
So will we be getting to that item?
Well, we're currently working on the concurrence list at the moment.
Well, I'll make a motion that we take it up now.
Is there, Mr. Asali is asking to suspend the rules to take it up. Is there a second? No second motion.
Second.
Was there a second? Nope. There's no motion. We're going to go ahead and move to item number 1.
Terrible optics. Terrible optics, right? And again, this really looks like Gavin Newsom didn't want to have to vote for this because, truthfully, reparations isn't very popular with anyone outside the Black community, which makes sense. You know, Gavin Newsom, Kamala Harris is in the middle of a campaign. This is fodder. This is a bullseye example of what Tariq Nasheed says, of what Ice Cube says, of what Yvette Carnell says. Okay, this is the textbook example. The textbook example. And they wouldn't even put it up for a vote. Now, it remains to be seen, you know, whether this is for the betterment of the bill in itself. Who knows what will happen next year? You know, it again, like we were talking about in the Marlon Wayne segment. What do you do when your back's against the wall? Who knows how this could break? I'm an optimistic person. But they wouldn't even let their own bill go up for a vote after it spent years in a task force, after the Senate had already passed it. The governor tried to flip it, say it's much more than just cash payments. Reparations about much more than just cash payments. Maybe we should send it back for another study. Well, this is how Black people in America feel all the time. When it comes to Black people's issues, needs, and priorities, it feels like, yeah, we hear you, but now's not the time. Let me know what you think about all this. My name is Justin Hunt. Like, subscribe to the channel, follow at The Company Man on everything. It's all happening.
Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. The mathematical breakdown of this mighty game of rap we in. It's boom bapping. Systematical culture views, it's radical, it's all happening. Shaking hands and dapping it. Life through the lens of hip hop, from trip hop to yes, dog, you don't stop, you don't stop. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening.